After years of saving hard for your retirement, is the 4% rule still the way to go when withdrawing from your investments? In this video, we're going to talk about different withdrawal strategies that you, as a Washington State public employee, can implement to maximize your investments throughout your entire retirement. Hey there, public employees. My name is Seth. I'm a financial advisor who also happens to be a CPA, and I'm also a former public employee. After having worked a few years at a city in Washington, I transitioned to the financial advisor world where I love helping public employees maximize their benefits, investments, and really enjoy their retirement. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 4% rule as well as some other common withdrawal strategies that we utilize. But the big component that I want to emphasize above any sort of strategy is that we want to enjoy our retirement. We don't want to just let our savings grow and grow and grow until we've completed our retirement and we haven't really enjoyed it. So it's really important that regardless of what strategy you utilize to enjoy your retirement and to use those investments, you want to have some plan in place. The 4% rule is a place I see people start. This rule was originally coined by Bill Bengen back in 1994. And basically what it says is you take your investment balance as it is today and you take 4% out of it each year. Well, 4% adjusted for inflation. So as time goes on, you are taking out more than when you initially started. However, the 4% rule is a tried and true strategy to ensuring that you don't run out of money in retirement. However, there are lots of other strategies as well. One of my favorite strategies beyond the 4% rule is what we coin a guardrails style strategy. And I am in no way the inventor or the person who came up with this strategy. It's been academically tested and studied and is a proven method for pulling from your portfolio. It was originally coined or invented or studied by a man named Guyton. So what this rule, the concept of this rule, the underlying principle is that we have an upper and a lower guardrail, and we can think of these in numerous different ways. But I like to think about that upper guardrail is we don't want to leave our mattress stuffed full of money. And that lower guardrail, really what that indicates is that we don't want to run out of money. So by staying between these two guardrails, we can ensure that one, we're still spending enough to enjoy our retirement, which is important, and that number two, we don't run out of money in retirement. I'm a big fan of this because as time goes on, and let's say we hit that upper guardrail, then you can increase your spending. So there's a really effective way that I typically manage clients' retirement investments. The other component of the guardrail style strategy that I'm a big fan of is it gives us a framework for making decisions regarding pulling out large lump sums of money. So let's say you want to pull out a large lump sum. Hopefully it's for something fun, like going on a vacation or some other enjoyable retirement activity. Well, as long as you're staying above that lower guardrail, it probably makes sense to make that withdrawal and go on that vacation and really enjoy your retirement. However, if we're going to drop below that guardrail, we want to evaluate what's the impact on our retirement savings if we do that. As a Washington public employee, you have some incredible advantages that lots of other public sector folks don't have. So for one, you have your pension. It's a stable, guaranteed income source, and it also has inflation adjustments, cost of living adjustments in it. This is an incredible foundation for your retirement. And one of the components that I really enjoy planning for and talking with my clients about is figuring out how can we use our pension to cover all of our kind of mandatory or our non-discretionary, those expenses that we have to pay. Healthcare, housing expenses, taxes, those key expenses that we don't have any control over. And then I like to think about and plan with our investments as money that we can spend on really truly enjoying our retirement. So regardless of what the markets are doing, you can still enjoy your retirement and have that security of knowing your pension is that fixed, stable foundation of your retirement. All right, so I'm all about action items and what do we specifically need to do today to ensure we're setting ourselves up for retirement. So what I want you to do is start by going through and just totaling up what your income sources are going to be in retirement. Go ahead and start with your pension. Get that DRS pension estimate or reach out to a financial advisor that works with public employees. If they're anything like me, they can give you a pension estimate and help you figure out what that might be. However, definitely reach out to DRS to get an official estimate, especially as you get close to retirement. From an income side, we also want to take into consideration our investment portfolio. So let's say we have $500,000 saved up. Using the traditional 4% rule, you could take out $20,000 each year. So we want to add that to what our pension is going to be. You can modify that beyond the 4% rule. However, the 4% rule is a fine place to start just to get an estimate of what you think your income's going to be. And then also factor in Social Security. Feel free to get a Social Security estimate. Take that into consideration as you're adding up your income. And then also add in any other income sources you're going to have in retirement. If you're planning on working a little bit in retirement, be sure to factor that in. Once we know what our income is, start going through and adding up your expenses. Figure out what are your expenses realistically going to look like in retirement. How much are you going to spend on housing? What do you think your tax situation is going to look like? And then healthcare costs too. We also want to think about what are our goals? What do we want to leave a legacy? Do we want to leave inheritance to our kids? Do we want to donate it all to charity? Those are all incredibly important components of your financial plan that you want to figure out and define, and that really controls a lot of the strategy. Ultimately, your financial goals drive your plan, and then all the individual aspects of financial planning are determined based on your goals and the plan that you put in place. All right, wrapping up today with the 4% rule. One of the things I want to emphasize is that the 4% rule is not written in stone. It can change, it can be tweaked, but it's a good place to start. And as we're working through our retirement planning, we want to factor how much we're pulling from our investments. There are a lot of mistakes I see public employees making, and one of those is just setting it and forgetting it. Setting your plan, getting your plan in place, and then forgetting it. Life happens, events change, and we want to come back to that plan and readjust as we need to. So be sure to check out the guide in the link below in the description, going over some of the other common mistakes I see public sector employees in Washington making. If you ever want to learn more about potentially working together, feel free to go to lifefocusadvisors.com. Thanks.